Well, the Channel 9 papers and 60 Minutes have done our country a great service with their ongoing exposure of the alleged corruption and criminality inside Australia's most powerful union, the CFMEU, that's also been one of the biggest funders of the Labor Party. Reports in the Financial Review, the Sydney Morning Herald, The Age and on television have exposed allegations of kickbacks, threats, extortion and extensive links between the union and major crime figures. Not to mention the way the poor old taxpayers have been ripped off blind to the tune of millions and millions of dollars. Here's footage of the Victorian CFMEU secretary, or former secretary as of Friday night, John Setka, who abruptly resigned, delivering a suitcase to another union official, branding him a dog, which is the ultimate union term of abuse.
I see down the driveway some sort of parcel or package or object. As I got closer, I saw that it was a suitcase type object with some words written on the top.
What were those words?
The words were Leo the dog.
Leo the dog.
Yeah.
So what are we seeing here, Leo?
This is the family driveway and the camera footage.
It's a fleeting moment you can see for yourself in this extraordinary clip.
And there he is.
That's him right there.
Yep.
And there goes the bag.
There goes the bag in the middle of the driveway and he scurries off.
If you think the figure is recognisable, you'd be right.
What does that footage show?
At approximately 8:10 p.m. on Tuesday the 21st of May, John Setka came into the driveway with a suitcase and placed it in the driveway.
And here's footage of a senior CFMEU official abusing the managers of an Indigenous-owned construction firm for seeking government contracts without union approval.
Take your soul and I'll rip your head off. Look, you're a rat. You want to go AW and get an AW agreement? Yeah. That's all right. Just let that come home with fire mobs.
And here's more footage of union officials boasting that the CFMEU controls the Victorian government's $100 billion Big Build program. Not ministers, not taxpayers, but the most thuggish union in the country.
So I'll tell you, so the bosses are all my friends. We all grew up together. I will take this to them. They're going to ask me two questions. One, why am I helping you? Okay. And two, they want to eat. Okay. Because what they have to do, they have to look at the big bill, they look at it and say, all right, this is yours. But to put you there, they have to move someone. So there's a fee to get the EBA.
Yep.
I think the upfront fee is cash, but all you're going to do, I told you, pay the boys, make sure they're okay, and that's it. That's business. And everybody else.
Yesterday, Victorian Premier Jacinta Allan refused to take questions about her government's links with the CFMEU. Today, she fronted the cameras and denied that she was warned about these issues 2 years ago.
We had a letter from a subcontractor to you saying that they've been subject to violent threats of intimidation, that they were effectively black banned, and you wrote back, it took you a year to respond, and you wrote back and handballed it to the federal government. How did you do that?
Perhaps it's outside of this room we can get from you those documents that you're referring to. As you can appreciate, it's challenging to respond to documents that you hold.
Oh, come on, that is gutless. Those documents would be on her office files. And this is the same Jacinta Allan. Let's not forget she might be a new premier, but she has sat around the cabinet table during the whole time that this alleged corruption linked to Labor has gone on. I mean, this is where Daniel Andrews got all of his power from, and this is where she now gets hers. As I said, good on Channel 9 for exposing this, but this isn't just the shame of union officials allegedly enriching themselves via kickbacks, intimidating honest businesses and consorting with organised crime. This alleged corruption and criminality means that everyone is ripped off, with costs in Australia's near $100 billion a year construction sector about 30% higher than comparable costs overseas. The big question now will be the response of state and federal Labor governments, given the union's intimate links with Labor at every level. It's hard to avoid the suspicion that the Federal Minister, Tony Burke, is a patsy for this crooked union. Almost his first act in government was to abolish the Australian Building and Construction Commission, the watchdog that had taken dozens of these CFMEU officials to court and had millions of dollars of fines imposed. As opposition leader, Anthony Albanese had expelled Setka from Labor for gross abuse of women. But that never stopped Labor accepting CFMEU money or their votes. Let's see what happens now. Today, the union put its Victorian branch into administration. But it's the whole apple that's rotten. In the face of demands for an urgent Royal Commission, the union's national boss said, "Trust us. We can clean up our own mess."
The union has always said that there is no place for criminality amongst our ranks. If allegations are brought forward, we have always said that we will investigate them.
In the 1980s, the Hawke government deregistered the BLF, the CFMEU's corrupt and thuggish predecessor. Will the Albanese government have similar courage? Let's see what our weak Prime Minister does next.